talk to you, option about talking to you because not want having to being able to talk to Shiho. That's sort of what happens in the confidant early on. Like when she sees Shiho, like one of the reasons she talks to you is because during one of the physical therapies, she sees Shiho so broken down and in pain and tears, like constantly feeling like she wants to give up and crying. And seeing her suffering like that hurt her deeply. And basically, after seeing that, she needed to talk to someone, and she goes to you, to Akira specifically. Like that is also a part of it. Like again, this is the thing. Like On isn't a continuous story. It's a lot of factor helping her grow as a person. It is her relationship with Shiho. It is her modeling career with Mika. It is basically her desire to be a strong heart. It is not one straight path, but it is many aspects that form and have her grow as who she is. Like,
dude, you should be like one of those in-depth characters. You should have like that one channel that you analyze every like the character and just you go in depth into them.
I don't want to do that because I admit I tend to do that a lot. But the reason I want to do that is I've seen so many channels fuck up character aspects so much, and I tend to really dislike it. So I don't want to become one of those. Like I saw basically one of the characters describing Kawakami Setayo's situation as her being depressed, which makes sense, yes. And so basically because she was depressed, she was looking for any sort of affection, even if it came from a student. It's like, no, you got that wrong.
Yeah,
like
no, that is totally wrong.
Like that's an overgeneralization, if anything.
Like she avoided affection. She berated herself, and whenever anybody showed any kind of a positive outlook, she rejected it. She did not like it. They painted it as her basically falling head over heels over her student because she was so depressed and just craved affection, and would have been any student that would have worked. But in reality, she denied any sort of like support or kind words, and the only reason Akira was able to help her because he was stubborn and basically whenever she told, even when she told her not to call me, not to have me come here, he still kept going.
Mm-hmm.
So
like he genuinely cares.
And like we mentioned before, there's a lot of channel describing about how An is objectified and all that stuff. When, as I explained, that is the complete opposite. Like, no, like she is a very strong character and very
Isn't
much.
that like the whole point of her overcoming? Like she's using that to her advantage.
Yes, but a lot of people just go like, "Oh,
yeah,"
sexy.
they just complain about it.
It's funny because they go like, "Oh, she's being objectified. Just look at her outfit. I mean, look at her reaction when she first sees it. She gets covered, is ashamed." And I go, "Do you not see the like discussion during Mementos where she starts talking about how she feels comfortable in later on? Like she freaks out because it's the first time she's seen it and it just showed up out of nowhere. But the game shows that she actually becomes quite comfortable with it later on.
Like Ryuji,
because that's how she perceives herself as a quote unquote rebel.
Yeah, like a villainess, basically.
Yeah, the femme fatale. She's kind of like Catwoman. But what I wanted to get at is, like, Ryuji's kind of a more, like, the thing is, Ryuji's is more spelled out in front of you. He's basically like, yeah, wave your flag. Like, if you're going to be considered a delinquent, you might as well, like, take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And that kind of coordinates with On. Like, yeah, you think... Like, you think I'm such a dumb girl? Okay, fine, I'll pretend like I am one. But for my benefit alone.
Mm-hmm. And that's what makes all the outfits, like, so unique from one another. Because that's how they see themselves as, again, the rebel. That's kind of what Persona 5 was about, too.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I hate, like, people look at the first glance of something, like, first reaction, go like, oh, this explains everything about this character and how they feel. It's like, there's more than just one instance. There are a lot of moments and develop. And one of the things, going to Dion, one of the things I also liked about On, and this also goes with Ryuji that people miss, is how good they are with people. Like and this is, if you can relate to this. This is with Futaba. during the period where basically they're trying to get her to come out more, like be more social after they changed her heart, and well, sort of changed her heart. She regained her heart and gained a persona from it. If you remember, like Makoto, who is the one that everybody praises and says she's the best thing ever, struggled to make a conversation with Futaba, because this is the thing that people forget about Makoto. She's smart, but she's also rigid. Like, she's good at making plans, but if the plans falter at any instance, she kind of falters also. And this is why when people go like, oh, Makoto is the real leader of the fantasy, she does all the planning, it's like, Makoto is good at planning, Akira is good at improvising.
Mm-hmm.
And
like
basically,
if a plan goes wrong, it's like, all right, time to improvise.
trying for Joker to take stage and fix this.
It's especially like you could probably say like in Royale, like that first part where you actually get the what's it called, the claw, or not the claw, but the
grappling hook.
Yeah, like oh, the sails are broken. Mona, oh, this might fit you. Whoosh, there you go.
Yeah, but like Yusuke was able to talk to her, but it was basically like after an argument, and then because Yusuke is Yusuke, he beats the beat of his own drum in the best way possible. But like Makoto could not have a conversation with Futaba, and even Yusuke was just Futaba talking about her favorite show. But when we go the next day and it's on in Ryuji, they had no problem like
because they
hanging
were
out with Futaba.
Like they were eating is basically like because
they know how to socialize.
No,
know
I'm not
how
saying
to deal with people.
Yeah, because you're in common ground when you're eating. I usually tell. What was it? Like
I mean, that's what Maruki does with
the snacks.
The snacks.
I will say
because
this.
you feel more at ease too.
I will say this, like for example, the thing is, like my parent, when I was younger, my mom was like super busy, so I would. This is one of the reasons why she likes anime, is because I would tell her, hey, why don't you come and sit down for a little while, like we're. Like, oh, okay. Like, she'll sit down, watch a little bit of Dragon Ball, and then she'll go back to work. But that's the only way I can get her to relax. We'll sit down, eat something, and enjoy ourselves. And that's basically how An and Ryuji were handling it. Like, with the excuse of eating, and then just like casually talking, not going with the intention of making her talk.
Because that's what Makoto did.
That is what they need, and again, and that's what I like is this small moments that show the positive quality of An and Ryuji, but a lot of people don't seem to acknowledge and just focus on the negativity and the flaws of them, and never pay attention to Makoto's flaws, just like how horrible she is at interrogating the thug. Like the whole thing's like, oh, can you take me to your leader? Like, what are you talking about? Is this the leader, the one that you're working for? I want to meet him. And the fuck is like, yeah, no, I'm gonna walk away. And she goes like, he was able to maneuver my questioning. And I'm just there like,
what are you doing?
Like, the only reason she was able to keep Akira trapped in that one discussion because she got the recording. Which, by the way, again, Ryuji and An were both recorded on that. Not just Ryuji, but Ryuji got the blunt of it. And forget the fact that basically An came in during the discussion. She should have seen Makoto recording that.
True.
But
even when those parts where she has been assigned by the principal to like check who the Phantom Thieves are. Like, she's just walking around with like a what's it called, like a newspaper or a book, just like following.
She's terrible at stalking people. Yeah, like if Makoto.
You can even go up to her and be like, "What are you doing?" Nothing. I'm just looking at this book. It's so interesting. What is this? Like, okay.
Yeah. And like Ryuji, like stopping in the middle of traffic to stop a taxi so he can follow Makoto. Like, that was an amazing move from him, and I see nobody mention that ever when talking about Ryuji.
Guy's got guts.
Yeah,
if he puts his mind to one thing, he can achieve it. Especially when it came to when he what's it called, when he ran to actually save everyone from the boat on the boat.
Yeah, like I mentioned, he is not a thinker. He is not the smartest guy, and that is fine. He is the doer. He is the one that when actions need to be done, he will do it without hesitation. When Shiho jumped, his first thing was, okay, Mishima, you're talking now. And when he found out what Kamoshida is, Kamoshida's going to pay for this. Like, he didn't go like, shouldn't we do this? It could be risky. He's like, no, he did wrong. We need to solve this. Same with, like, seeing the students trapped in Kamoshida's palace, even though they were cognition, he didn't know that at the time. All he saw is, these people are suffering. We need to help these people. Like, no question, but no need to. I don't need to think about if this is dangerous or anything. People are in trouble, and we need to do something.
Yeah, it's like put people first and then fame second, which everyone. That's what everyone complained about too. But that wasn't mainly his own focus. Hell, didn't even say that he wanted to help people too.
Yeah, like
even I think after the first time you go, he's like, we need to go back there again to see what's like going on.
Yeah, it's just that people take the whole like him yelling phantom thieves, even though this is medium, and therefore even though we're hearing them, such not many people hear what they're saying, and basically like. Again, people talk shit. Like, who's gonna believe a random person screaming phantom thieves?
Yeah.
Like, people take, like, the knowledge that the player knows that we know they're the phantom thieves and take, like, oh, if this happens, everybody's gonna... No. Is it always perfect? No. Like, the one with the sushi was definitely, like, you really cut it down situation. But, like, people overextend the whole, like, him yelling phantom thieves.
It's kind of like the whole Superman thing where people would say like, why, like, can't anybody see Superman and with the glasses? Like, no, because this super almost super powerful, like all powerful man has like, why would he choose to be human?
A journalist, basically, like.
Mm-hmm.
And the old animated series, well, it was the only animated series, but he even tells Lois like the real reason.
Yeah, I remember that. Like, I'm actually, and she laughs it off like it's a joke. And I remember she walks away. He's trying to look. I'm lifting the table, and she's not.
Why are you not paying attention? I want attention. Please look.
But no,
the only way I get attention is if I actually save someone.
I want your attention, Lois.
But no, like
Senpai. Again,
Ryuji
knows me.
Ryuji and Mona are the two characters I feel, and to a certain extent, Oja and such, are the characters that I feel get the shit the most from the fans. Ryuji and Mona, I understand Oja, but I feel Ryuji and Mona specifically get shit on way more than they deserve.
Yeah, because essentially Mona's character... memes and going like a deeper meaning. Morgana is supposed to be humanity's like last hope. Mm-hmm. That's essentially what Igor did, like why he sent Morgana away before he got trapped.
Yep.
By Yaldabaoth.
And the thing is, people go like, Mona is so egotistical. He's such like selfish and like. Have you ever not met someone who is in self-doubt and therefore boasts constantly because he feels so self-in-doubt? Like, don't you know the term "fake it till you make it"? Like, because that's how I always felt Mona was. He is self-conscious of the fact that he doesn't know his past. He doesn't know who he is. So he builds himself as this amazing individual to, like, not think of that. And so this is why when other people become more excel on his stuff, all that framework he built up starts crumbling down. Mm-hmm. So, like,
especially that scene where Ryuji yells at him, then he's useless.
Yeah, but yeah, I just think like I understood that. That for me made perfect sense. I just don't like how the game actually gave me options to ask what's going on, and then he asked like nobody cared about him. When I purposely told him, hey, is everything okay? You want to talk about it? Futaba asks like, hey, spit it out. Something bothering you? It's like everybody was
everyone was asking him like,
it would have
why are you so down?
It could like it would have been a little bit more justified if like it would have acknowledged your answers, like only this guy gets me and he doesn't even talk or something like that.
But no, like it's one of those things that like I know what they were going through, but they kind of flubbed the execution. Basically.
Yeah, the execution was like the build-up was good, but then the exit, like that's the way they executed.
Execution, like oh god, and again,
like there's a lot of like some stories they have really good build-up to like what's gonna happen, but you think that it's gonna go one way, but then they execute it another way. Like, why did you do that?
Just talk to these people.
You know what? I'm gonna bring it up. The show that had the best ways of putting things is fucking Ruby. Like they build up a lot of things. Like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. This is how this is gonna be, and then it just. It's like, why did you execute it? Why is this character being like this? There's no reason.
And the worst stuff is, like, as you know, because of the way they executed, Mona kind of stumbled and tripped over Haru, and then her scene got taken over by Mona, basically. Drama.
Mona's drama.
What
was supposed to happen with...
Like, the big scene with her father.
Oh, yeah. Like he kind of stole her spotlight, too. Yeah, I get you.
Even in Royal, he kind of stole her spotlight, too, right?
Yeah, they didn't shake that, no.
Yeah, I'm sad. Poor Haru fans, we got the short end of the stick.
And that's why I always feel like the Okumura section is one of the worst executed parts of the story, and why it is not a perfect game. It is one of my favorite games and series with the characters, Persona 5 specifically. I love the confidence. I think Persona 5 has done the social link confidence stuff the best out of all of them. Because they made it in a way that actually got me invested and care about every single one of them. Like, in Persona 3, Persona 3 I played when I was young, so there is that aspect, but I cared very little about the group, and even less about the social link, except for Toriumi, because the whole concept of playing someone online and finding out that she was your teacher is kind of hilarious to me.
I think during one of the confidants, you basically have like one shot to stop him from committing suicide, or
nice, maybe. But it also didn't help that was in the beginning stages of the modern Persona games, and therefore a lot of them were barred away from social stats, which were a pain in the ass even more so than compared to now. So
yeah, because the only time to actually have social stats are important is like to start off the confidant or to kind of progress in it.
Yep, plus Persona 3 had the whole mechanic that if you went to Tartarus, you were exhausted and had to spend the day recovering, which made doing social links even more tiring. But yeah, like, I do think that's a mixture of how young I was when I played the game, because I would play when it released. It and Nocturne were my first integration into the Atlas style of RPGs, and made me move away from Square Enix. And then there was Persona 4, where I cared about all the group members, like the party members, and I cared about Dojima and Nanako, but I really couldn't I couldn't remember most of the confidants. Like, I'll let you give me a hint.
Yeah, I don't remember any of the. I haven't played Persona 4. I've only seen the.
Anime. I remember them now. Like, there's the widow, there's the nurse, there's the stepmother.
I know Chie just wants to be the
Featherman.
Chie's just basically, I want to protect people, and they kind of feel a little too generic, like compared to the other ones now, like in retrospect.
And it's one of those, like, I enjoy it. It's still a game, and I'm never gonna say it isn't. But I still only really care about the group, not so much the confidant, and the fact that all those confidants back then social links did was just give you bonuses for your Persona. Persona 5, I think, did it the best because of 3 reasons. two reasons, not three. One, confidant abilities. The fact that the confidants support you and help you actively, like they're not just, oh, here's someone you talk to and give a bonus to, and you get persona bonus. Aha, it's done. Like no,
like Yoshida, I'll go.
Yoshida helps you like get better
for
at
diplomacy, basically. Like he'll teach you how to like.
Let me explain.
Oja writes article to give a good word on the fantasies. Takemi sells you the drugs. Why sells you weaponry? Kawakami basically takes care of you and basically does her best to make sure you have time to rest.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah,
because of those things.
What was that kid? What's the kid's name? I didn't do his confidant, but like he gains you the access to
Oda.
I for some
increase
reason...
your actual gun skills.
Yeah, down shot. Like you mentioned last way, like what do you use your guns in the original game? Down shot. Down shot was the best thing ever.
Yeah, and you can only use it once every. You could use it like once every time you went into what's it called?
The metaverse.
Into the metaverse. Yeah.
So you might as well not even use it at that point, or use it only in an emergency or something.
No. Once you got more ammo, you could use it up to 3 times.
No, like well, that was my mentality because I didn't really know. I'm like the ammo's so limited. I might as well not use it in vanilla at least. And here I'm like, I'm gonna go berserk. Let's go.
But yeah, no, in vanilla I was like, because of the fact that I had Persona with gun skills, all I did is I do downshot to make sure I grab the treasure demons.
Oh yeah, true. Especially that one. I think it was the brick demon where he basically blocked every attack.
Yeah,
like,
downshot is a
godsend
when you're
3.
farming treasure demons.
or if you use Miracle Punch.
Yep.
And that was still a long shot too.
Yeah, it's still a long shot.
That's why downshot was such a blessing. Also, there was an ammo box in Persona Vanilla. I don't remember it was in Royal, but in Vanilla later on with the Thieves tool, you can make an ammo box with less you refill ammunition.
I don't think I didn't.
I don't remember. I only remember the Eternal Pick, and I never even freaking used it.
I remember because again I use Sudayo a lot to help me build stuff and make coffee and curry and build me Thieves tool. When you have the Eternal Pick, you no longer need any other picks, and when you don't need any other picks, let's see what other Thieves tools Sudayo can make for me. Ooh, ammo box, make.
I didn't actually use it for anything. Like I'll do everything myself. Me too. You just sit back and relax. You sit back, relax, and do your thing.
Like I don't want to bother her. I'd rather.
She's already gone through so much.
Yeah, for me that was me in the first playthrough, but by the third playthrough, when you have scenes like when you have her working in the workbench and you do exercise, she's actually like listening in on Mona talking, although she probably doesn't know what she's saying, and is looking at you while working and look at you exhausted. When you read a book or study while she does coffee, you can see her working on the coffee while you're studying, and it gives her this feeling of kind of like her helping you out. Also, kind of works as mini dates, cheering
you on, or like cheering you on from the sidelines silently.
And her basically like she can't be there with you in the metaverse, but she can at least support you in other ways.
I should actually start not taking advantage, but like doing that more.
Yeah, because
if I play though.
Yeah,
I'll probably do it.
It starts being taken advantage and basically you working together. Like again, this is what I enjoy about their dynamic is like Kawakami is a hardworking person and she wants to be there for him and help him in any way she can. And so when she finds out that he's fantasy, he wants to be there to support and help him out. And Thieves tool is obviously, if we want to go game-wise, making coffee and curry, it's a godsend because XP usage. Never have to worry about SP ever again. But as a story-wise, what makes sense is her helping him with massages and the Thieves tool.
Mm-hmm. And whatever else he needs help with.
Yep. And so basically, like, once I start rationalizing, it's also why that kind of rationality and understanding. It's also why I started liking her maid outfit and her maid attitude a bit more, because the more I started realizing that, the more their interaction like this, and the more I started to correlate her maid outfit and design and attitude as basically their own little inside joke. And basically, like, her normal life is, this is Sayo Kawakami. She is a teacher, she works hard for her students, and it doesn't have much free time. But at night, she's Becky, and she is with her master and loving boyfriend. Kind of like that extra degree of separation between the two separate lives.
You know, that kind of reminds me of
it's like a good dynamic too.
Yeah, and it kind of works with them because you have Akira the student, Joker the Phantom Thief. You have Sadaya the teacher, Becky the maid.
I kind of like now that I think about
it. And your profile picture actually stands out too with it.
Yeah, that was actually one of the commissions I had the artist Nakadoji did as my cover for my fanfic. Basically, I wanted to showcase that duality.
That is actually, it's a lot to take in, but it's very interesting.
Like I said, I put a lot of thought. It's why it takes me a lot of time to make chapters, because
you have to put in a lot of time. That's just like me. Like I will post a drawing like in a bit, but it's our, what's it called? It's basically a picture of me and Akira just like talking, but with mugs of coffee. But for me, when it comes to me for drawing, like, you could say I wouldn't say I have a hard time. It's just that I spend too much time playing on my PlayStation, and when I get an idea, I stop. I'm about to like write it, like draw it down, and then I can't. Like the idea loses me, or I just get too caught up. I'm like, I don't like the way that this looks. Like something is very wrong. Like it took me a long time just to get like one of the eyes the way I wanted it.
Yeah, like that's one of the reasons why I've been having struggle with my latest chapter, is because of the events that I've set up. I've been second guessing and third guessing. Like I got the general idea I want to go, but I'm trying to figure out a lot of perspective from the characters. And characters that are not in game, that don't show up in game, so it's extra layer of how I have to like figure out from the little information I have from the game about this character, which is Ryuji's mother, basically.
Like we don't really get that much information on.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out from little bits and pieces. Like, here's how my process here my process go when it comes to characters, especially one that's not detailed much. Okay, Ryuji's mother. We have Ryuji. He's very vulturish, very loud. You think, oh, maybe the mother is like that, but then you remember
she apologized
she apologized profusely to the teachers, to Ryuji, and she was dealing with an abusive husband, like, and all that stuff. And so you
a negligent husband,
drunk father,
and there you have to think that she's probably actually much more of a meek, caring, maybe a bit strict, but much more of a meek mother figure. And it also explains why Ryuji is also very strong, because he feels guilty that he's putting her through this and has to protect her. Basically, it's like that overprotective sounds like he's seen how her mother is and doesn't want her to feel pain. And because of the stuff that happened to Konchita, he feels guilty for letting her down and being such a failure. And so I have to...
Like, he's seen the effects of how... If he's not the opposite, like, that's the result. Like,
yeah.
Look at Ma. She's very meek. She doesn't really speak loud. And look what it's... Not what it's gotten her, but, like, this is what would happen if I don't.
Yeah.
So I have to be strong, like the opposite for her.
So basically, I have to deal with a scene involving her and Ryuji and Sadayo, and basically I'm trying to figure out how that scene is going to play out. What would be her reaction to Sadayo? How would Sadayo feel about this? how will Ryuji feel about this? Especially the stuff going on right now in game. It's kind of a precarious situation, which I didn't realize what's going on until I double checked my timesheets on where the plot and the story would be.
And where is that right now? Where is the plot?
The very day Futaba wakes up from her sleep coma.
Oh, okay.
Like, basically, I had it in a previous chapter talking about Akira was basically a few chapters back. I had Sodayo talking to Ryuji that she because Ryuji doesn't feel like he worth studying. He doesn't have any value, and basically doesn't feel comfortable talking to his mother about the situation. So, do want me to talk to her, like have a parent-teacher conference, trying to find a way to help out Ryuji after all the suffering she's put him through, basically trying to make amends for her past actions.
Especially when she like grills him about she grills him like
about
she even
his
said
and attitude.
Yeah, and she even tells you the character. She even tells Akira is like, "Why are you hanging out with him? He's a delinquent."
Yeah, basically, like, that does come up, yeah, basically. Like, the fact that she said that, like, I put it in the fact that she probably wasn't one of the teachers nagging on Ryuji's mother and yelling at her, though mostly because of how passive she is and uncaring about it. She probably didn't pay much attention to it. But she still, like, constantly talked to Ryuji about, like, his hair.
Yeah, why aren't you changing it back to black?
Yeah, and all that stuff. So basically, like, she wants to try to make amends. So I'm trying to figure out how the encounter with the teacher, the parent, and Ryuji will go. And it's one of those things, like, I keep trying to figure out, and it's like, wait, will that work? How do I start this conversation? Like, it's amusing because I had Sodayo explain that she fought this, she offered this because she wanted to help. But on the day, right now in the chapter, is having her, like, now that the day has come, she has no fucking idea what to do. And I'm just like, oh, I feel exactly that. I planned this situation to happen, but now that I'm here, it's like, what the fuck do I do?
I don't want to be
like you're putting yourself. It's like you're there as the character, like,
yeah. I feel Sodayo so much like, oh god, I planned, I offered this, but now that I'm here, like, oh god, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, it's just the process, too.
But no, on the previous chapter, I had Akira talk to her that Ryuji wasn't feeling very comfortable. He wanted him to be there. I had written in the story, planned to mention a story that Akira has met Ryuji's mother, and she kind of treats him like a second son, because of how he's Ryuji's most recent close friend, and they care about each other. So
they even act like they're brothers. They're brothers from another mother.
They're bros, basically, and so basically, like, so I had Ryuji ask Akira if he could come to his place, come to his place and basically be there as support. Which at first I thought he was going there to support her, like I can do this on my own. You don't need to be there. Like, no, I'm here for Ryuji. He asked for this.
And I'm here for both of you.
But and all that was the plan. But then as I finished and I was working on the next chapter, like, where am I? Because Futaba has been asleep for a while. It's been a while since the thing. Where am I? When is the next day? And then I looked the day, the 21st. When is the 21st? I looked some videos. Oh, that's the day Futaba wakes up.
Oh, shit.
Akira is not going to be able to make it. Because he is stuck with Futaba the rest of the day.
Just have him, like, text Kawakami in.
Oh, no, that's the plan.
He's like, hey, I'm not able to make it. Things have come up.
Yep. One is, like, good news. Futaba's awake. She's dealing with the magic. And, like, oh, that's great news. But
are you sure you don't want me there?
For people who are listening, like, here's some preview for the next chapter. But I can't make the meeting today. So basically now, like, the plan I had, which was Akira being there, is not there, and now this extra layer of awkwardness because of it.
because he was originally supposed to be there for both of them, but
yes.
now he's just I
Not
can't
there.
be there.
Yeah.
I gotta help my little sister.
I gotta deal with like a world organization hacker group to not screw up Japan.
Exactly.
But no, it's one of those things. Like I'm trying to feel like, oh god, I'm trying to figure this out, and it's difficult. I'm not lying, and it's partially like as you heard me, I'm trying to think of every angle situation, and I'm trying to figure this out. So it is not easy. Like it is not easy, and it takes me a lot of time. But I'm always. It's one of the reasons I do this because by the end of the day, when I'm done, I feel proud of the. Effort I put into this story and the response I got from people who enjoyed this story makes it all the worthwhile. Like I've had people basically tell me in the reviews and tell me like after reading it's like they considered this the official canon of how things go because of the effort I put into it.
All forms of art takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and if people like it, you know what? That's the best thing that people like us can perceive.
Oh yeah, I'm always grateful for the people that put the effort to comment and review my chapters, and it's always great.
No, you know me. I'm very similar to that as what you're saying.
Yeah, it's kind of why I try to do my best to do the same. It's one of the I know how it feels when you do something and nobody really responds, so I always try my best to be able to give feedback. It may not be the most in-depth stuff if I can't, but I try to at least show appreciation. It's also why I learned to interact with, talk to a lot of artists and become more active. It's one of those things that because of I used to be a lurker, but because of Sudayo, I become much more active in community. I become more like throwing my
opinions,
appreciation, and response for stuff. Because I'm thankful for the people that take the time to do the art and the work, because I'm not an artist and I never thought I'd be a writer either, and I still don't consider myself a writer. I just consider myself someone who's just very passionate and wants to share that passion. When I started the story, I did not expect people to really like enjoy it as much as they have. It was basically, I want this to be out there, and if at least one person enjoys it, I'm happy. But at the very least, I put it out there.
I can tell that you really enjoy this because, again, you are passionate about like what you're doing and all this, and the depth you went into the character as well, and like the relationship between the protagonist and a quote unquote side character, but
it's like I always say, like. For me, like one of my favorite series is Monster Hunter. That is like my favorite gaming franchise of all time.
Because you can like the stories behind most of the monsters is interesting and you can see the inspiration, and especially with the new one that's coming out. I'm a Monster Hunter fan too. I didn't play all the games, but I start off with the 4th generation, but. Like coming to it now, like seeing how far it's come, it's amazing. Especially like from the designs and the background, like especially with again this series with Rise coming out. It's a big yokai theme.
Yeah, Monster Hunter is my all-time favorite franchise. The Persona 5 section, like the Persona 5 series specifically, holds a very special place in my heart, and I always kind of find it sad that whenever a good Persona 5 game shows up, a Monster Hunter game also tends to show up the very same year, because then I'm going like, okay, who's my favorite of the year game? Because when Persona 5 came, it was Monster Hunter World, and I was like, shit, I love Persona 5, and it's probably the most impactful game I've ever played. But Monster Hunter, it's Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is my system seller. If a Monster Hunter comes to a console, and I do not have it, I will get that console. Maybe not right away, but I will be saving up to get that console just for Monster Hunter.
And that's That's what I did with Generations Ultimate.
Yep. And basically, like, it's this year too. Like, I play Strikers, and honestly, no spoiler wise, Striker is one of my favorite games. It is, in my opinion, the best Persona spin-off / sequel there is, bar none. And it did an amazing job with both all established characters and the new ones. I love it, and as I showed in the Discord, I already platinumed them because I just enjoy playing every moment of it. But then, this month it Monster Hunter Rise, and I'm like, shit again.
Now I'm gonna pull us to like the Monster Hunter side of the Monster Hunter side. I know I listened to a video talking about the most notorious piece of lore that was only in an art book, the Equal Dragon Weapon and the Great Dragon Lore.
Oh yeah, no.
What do you think about that? Do you think would you think that it would be canon in like the current situation, or no, not canon?
I don't think it's canon. I think it's I think it's a bit. It's more like edgy beta stuff that they designed in the beginning. Because if you look at the older stuff from Monster Hunter, it was much more bleaker and darker than it really is right now. Like all this stuff about like humans destroying monster and destroying nature, and the monsters retaliating because of their abuse of nature. And you see Monster Hunter now, it's like it's way more whimsical.
It's
like
more
there are serious moments.
Symbiotic.
It's a symbiotic.
Yeah.
Well, I'll talk about another. I'll
like
talk
coexisting.
about another start.
Said.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing that the movie fucked up so badly. The Monster Hunter movie and its presentation, it that presented Monster Hunter like a horror world, like a world of horror and terror where everything is horrible. When in reality, the hunters, like, these are dangerous beings, but not even the hunter alone, just the villagers and the people who live where they just treat it like daily life. Like they made the movie like we would see the Monster Hunter world if we were in it, which is fine for the Jovovich character, but it didn't make sense for anybody else who's lived there and doesn't treat the world this way.
Yeah, because
them, this is
it's like a culture too. It's a culture to them because of course it's like respecting nature and like being one with nature as well. They treated it like more like, oh, we got to stop these monsters because they're a threat to us. Like
the guy has like, oh, this darn like Anjanath has busted my barn. Make him stop. It wasn't like, oh my god, Anjanath is here, we're gonna die. It's like, stop smashing up my crops.
Yeah, like even in the beginning of Monster Hunter World, where you see like the quote unquote turf war between the Jagras and the Anjanath, you're not trying to hunt it. You're literally trying to get past it to get into the village.
Yeah, there's this video. I don't know who did it, but it's called Monster Hunter and the Culture of Danger, and basically explained it perfectly in this. Like in the Marvel's Capcom Infinity game, where you go to the Monster Hunter world, they have Duran Moran, like Duran Moran coming, like this big dangerous thing, like set the alarm, they're coming. But
it's more of a festival type of deal.
Yeah, it's a festival.
Yeah,
when Jim Moran shows up, they're all like, let's hoard it and grab the goods. Come on.
Hey, we're not getting this until next year. Come on, everybody.
Yeah, and you see Genmura just flipping ships and launching them, and they never feel like we're gonna die. It's like it's less like we're gonna die horribly, and it's like nobody lives forever kind of deal.
Yeah, even in what's it called? I think in the beginning of because I started with 4 Ultimate. In the beginning of 4 Ultimate, you're traveling to I think not Burma. Is it Burma? I forgot the village.
Burma is Generations Ultimate. The
Burma.
type.
Yeah, that's I played too much Generations Ultimate, but
I don't blame you.
You're going to the first village. On your way over there. Yeah, on your way over there, guess who shows up? Adan Moran, and like they do treat it like it's kind of like a bad thing, but to me it kind of is, because they do like hit the the horn just to drive it off. You're trying to safely get there.
Yeah, and basically his hat goes to the Daran like, hey, grab my hat, and then you have to go and on top of the Duran Moran and grab the hat.
And guess what you find?
That's not how you deal a dangerous situation. It's like, grab my hat. It's like, no, that's just this is just how it is. Don't worry, my hat went to the giant monster. Go get to the giant monster and get my stuff.
Don't kill it. Just get it. Just get it down for me, please.
Yeah.
And even in what's it called, some of the quests, it's you have two options for the Elder Dragons, which are the quote unquote biggest threat of the area. Either you can slay it or you can repel it.
Yeah.
More
often than not, it's slay it. But no, it's in the thing with the Elder Dragon, it's just they're basically manifestation of natural disasters. They're basically natural disasters. If they had physical form, they warp the weather around them.
It reminds me of Absol, that people just assume he's behind the natural disasters, but no, he's just the warning, kind of like that.
No, the Elder Dragons are the ones.
in 3, everyone thought that Lagiacrus was the main threat, causing all the earthquakes. It was Cetus. It was
Cetus just scratching his horn, and basically, because he had a bad itch because it grew his head and covered his eye.
You can also see I'm gonna go into 4 story and then 4 ultimate. 4 story mainly focused around the frenzy virus and Gormagala.
Yeah.
I'm best monster, and first impressions what the hell is this thing? I want to fight it.
Batman monster.
Yeah, it's and then when you first get frenzy, you're whoa, what is this? How do I deal with this? Even the guild mom is looking through the notes, let me see. There's no record of this monster. No, you're infected. The only notable thing is just to use the null berries to slow it down. And then when you actually repel the frenzy virus, that's actually a good thing. Use that to your advantage.
And then when you finally kill it, it's oh, it's dead. And then it
yes, we did it.
It hatches.
Carve it. It's crawl away, and then you actually get to see it molt into the Shigaru Magala,
and an Elder Dragon classified.
I honestly would classify Gore as an elder, because he is
a pupil Elder Dragon. Basically, he's an Elder Dragon pupa, basically.
Yeah,
I think that's the actual clarification.
Well, he's still an unknown till this day.
Yeah.
But no, he is still a walking natural disaster. And then when he actually evolves into Shigaru Magala, he is basically the quote unquote judgmental type villain, because he is heaven and hell. It's come to judge humanity for their quote unquote crimes and basically kill everything.
And then Fatalis, no, that's my stick. You get
he's that's my stick. But Fatalis is a whole nother story, especially the story implications they had on Worldborn. But I'm sticking with Sticking with 4 Ultimate as of right now. After you slay Shigaru, it's all right, everything seems to be returning back to normal. But things still aren't, because the frenzy is kind of still lingering around. Because you still have to fight the Chaos Gore, which is basically a Gormagala that tried to shed, but due to the strains of its environment, it couldn't. So it basically infected itself with the frenzy to kind of power itself, and now it's just on a rampage trying to destroy everything it can. So you basically have to put the thing out of its misery.
Yeah. And then basically the Seraglio that got the frenzy but overpowered and became an apex.
Yeah, and it basically used the frenzy to its advantage and overcame it to become an apex.
And then because of that, it scared all the other Seraglios, and they started going everywhere and
that's why
everywhere.
That's why they're considered an invading species.
Yeah. Because they got pushed out of their territory because of even angrier Seraglios.
Angry Survey, I'm mad. Hey, get out of here. I'm gonna cannibalize my own kind. Oh.
Oh,
Oh, so you were approaching me.
We don't want to be here now.
Yeah. That's basically the fun, like the entire story. I kind of don't see why they had to include the Aesops at the end, including Rusted Kushala, because after you repel Rusted Kushala, it's like, all right, I'm out of here. Nothing said. You could see the rivalry between the. Fuck, I forgot his name. They do mention his name in the Julius. There we go. Between Julius and the Rusted Kushala.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I know you before. I'm gonna come back. See you later.
I think that's why they wanted to give more story to other characters and all that stuff.
Yeah, and then now we're gonna few years later with Worldborn, like the story behind the Fatalis quest. Like, all right, fight Elatrion. Why is he here in the new world? So you fight him. It's like, oh, he was probably running from a Fatalis. We need everyone back here at the old world and investigate Castle Shrade. So you basically travel back and you're looking at everything all right, prepare a base here and let's get everything ready for when Fatalis comes.
And then Fatalis says, "Fuck you, I'm coming now."
He's like, "What's up, bitch? What's up, fuckers?" It's like, "Oh, it's like everyone retreat," and even the head commander's like, "No, Hunter and Aiden." We got this. Like, we got this. We can hold them off as long as we can. And you know what happens? Hey, you basically kill him, while Aiden almost dies too.
Okay, let's see, we're running extra time now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I did not want to interrupt you guys, so that's why I just left it on text.
Yeah,
yeah. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
We've been going on way too long, but
this will probably be like a 3-parter.
I'd say it's worth it.
This will probably be like a 3-parter or something like that. Good thing I didn't get any topics, or else I would have felt like this was useless.
Oh. Yeah, no, but
but while you guys were really talking, I was drawing, and I pretty much done. If you guys want to look at it,
you're done.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah. Also, one of my...
We gave you enough time to finish it.
One of my pals...
Remember, I told you I can finish within like 2 to 3 hours.
Same here. I just had to... Well, for my drawing, I just had to outline and then find whatever colors I needed to draw everything. Excuse me. Also, one of my buddies says, "Nice drawing."
Thanks.
It looks fantastic.
I need to just sign it, and then I'm done.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. Let's.
Oh, I'm gonna hide it actually. Oh, hide it right here in the under boob.
So before we end it off, would you like to put your plugs in where we can find your works?
Oh yeah, again. So just in case.
Yeah.
Because this was like I said, this is gonna be a 3-parter.
Yeah. Story that fanfiction I've been writing up. It's the FIFA Light Made of Shadows. It is right now. I'm still ongoing. As I mentioned, around 23 chapters long, and it can be found on either fanfiction.net or Archives Our Own.
Considering we got plenty of material, I think we're gonna have to invite you back.
I'd be happy to, yeah. I still didn't think everyone had time to defend Oja because I got distracted.
Yeah, because as soon as you mentioned Monster Hunter, I'm like, I want to talk about this because there's barely anyone. I feel like there's barely any Monster Hunter.
No, I'm always happy to talk Monster Hunter too. Like I said, my two passions, entertainment passions, are Persona 5 and Monster Hunter. Those are my two biggest things.
Dude, right now it's Destiny 2 and Monster Hunter.
I want to finish Strikers, but I don't want to neglect the art.
Yeah,
dude, it is. You said that you're caught up, so take this moment to take a break.
I don't want to get lazy. That's the problem.
No,
just get one weekend. Just get one weekend and go through it. Like that's what I did because of my work schedule.
It took me a month to get through Persona 5.
What do you guys think
Royal.
of the? Sorry, I'm not trying to make this about the drawing, but I just want to ask, what do you guys think of the chest?
I haven't.
I'm showing.
I haven't seen it. I've just been in my room sitting. I've been in the room sitting on the bed with.
Oh shoot!
Also,
I messed
you gave
up.
her happy. You no, not happy. You gave her some hips.
I like giving her a tiny waist.
Yeah.
Nice.
Those are birthing hips.
Dang it.
Hey, as they do say, thick thighs.
Thick thighs.
Hey, one of my pals lives by that.
Dang it.
And he's in the same.
Dang it, Bobby.
He's in the same.
Dang it, Bobby.
What's it called? He's in the same Twitter. Me and another buddy. And one of them's in the stream. That I guess he has to use a guest account, but dude, you know who he is.
All right, now I'm done properly. I forgot to add the little dots, and actually, I keep looking at the details, and I'm like, I should have added this. I should have added that.
No worries, dude. But all right. So you said where to find you. Where to find my art? It's basically ShyGuy3300 at Twitter, and that's basically it. Oh, and for Instagram, because maybe if they want to follow, maybe if people want to follow me there, it's the_ShyGuy_3300 as well. Don't add an as well part.
Like I'm a little speechless.
I did kind of take over most.
No,
of it.
no, it's fine. Like I'm actually considering like having you, like as the third person on here whenever we have time.
It will be interesting.
Oh, 3-man podcast, and then we're gonna have a fourth one if it happens.
All right, I will. Let's see. I think I can fit my story just to get it out of the way, and just so because I've been teasing it a little bit with you, and I just didn't want to give too much away. And considering not a lot of people are going to be listening to this, I assume. Who knows? Maybe it'll start getting more attention. Basically, think Futaba and Nikira are kind of like, not necessarily like maybe it's implied. Well, then again, it is going to be implied that they are getting physical.
Mm-hmm.
And
you mentioned
not in a bad way, but like in
more intimate.
In the way most relations go into anyway.
And I'll just and it's and then out of nowhere the Trunks character comes in and says like basically like, oh my god, we just did it once and this happened. Is this how it happens? Like, no, of course not, Futaba. Because I think that's just like innocently sweet, like because like sometimes like out of nowhere somebody will tell you something like, wait a minute, I've never experienced okay, when I was younger, a teacher told us not only girls get pregnant. What? I mean, she was trying to say like not only her is the one involved. So I'm like, I think Futaba would fall for that. Like, wait a minute, we only spent the night once.
Doesn't mean I'm pregnant now.
It's not even in your tummy, though. Oh my god, it happened so fast.
Now, calm down, Futaba.
All right.
They never told me sexting could cause pregnancies.
Oh. I'm gonna add one.
I'll tell about my because most of this stuff comes in my head. I don't write it down. I probably should, but it's basically, was you guessed it, another transfer student going to Shujin because why the fuck not? It's a typical trope, I know, but it's just like
it works.
It's like student,
sometimes.
but it's an actual because most of my characters are based off of like parts of my life too. So like. My recent character, which is a Spooktoon character, Raze, he's and that's how you pronounce it. It's Rays, like razor, but Rays. But he's based off of like parts of
race-wing Rathalos.
Oh no! But so basically, transfer student, but he actually came from America, and basically took classes before like the whole transfer thing happened, and is basically there with Shujin. Here's the rumors about the Phantom Thieves, and things. He does become a Phantom Thief himself, but he does some stuff on his own before he meets like the whole Phantom Thieves, and kind of falls in love with the Floof Bean herself.
Mm.
Dang, that apron is so tight looking. I'm sorry, no, I'm just looking at it like the way I put the.
She tied it so it will accentuate her tracts of land,
valleys and mountains,
curves and waves.
Yes.
All right.
We said we were gonna end it, and then we
keep going. Okay.
Keep going.
We'll have to continue this in a next one. I think we're it's gonna be like a 3-parter, I assume.
Yeah, and it's probably gonna probably add another 4th part because.
No, let's just end it now because we're.
Yeah.
We should just end it with the question. We'll end it off with the question. I don't know.
What would be a good question?
Okay, I kind of want to unless somebody else has one.
I don't have any right now.
Lingerie, white or black?
Black.
Black.
Oh no, my.
Oh no! I just realized I should put stockings on her. I have another variant on here. But yeah, let's just end it here. Or else we're gonna go into 4 hours.
Abort! Leave!